Chromaticism is a compositional technique that uses pitches of the chromatic scale in addition to, or instead of, those that belong in the diatonic scale in a given key. We can also say that the use of chromatic pitches creates non-diatonic harmonies. Remember that a diatonic scale is any scale containing 5 whole tones and 2 semitones. The major and 2 of the 3 varieties of the minor scale are diatonic scales. Chords built on chromatic pitches are often referred to as color chords because they provide variety and interest to the sometimes bland landscape of diatonicism. The idea of a color chord makes sense since the word chromaticism is derived from the Greek word chroma, which means color. We have seen several instances of chromaticism already: chromatic non-harmonic tones and chromatic alterations in applied chords. In this module, we'll learn about another type of chromaticism, modal mixture, also sometimes called borrowed chords. Modal mixture is the use of chords belonging to the parallel key. So that would mean the use of chords from the parallel minor when you're in the major mode, and the use of chords from the parallel major when you're in the minor mode. Most often, chords from the minor mode are borrowed while in the major mode. This is why they are often referred to as borrowed chords. We're borrowing a chord from the parallel mode. Here's a list of the most commonly borrowed chords and their most common inversions. Note that in minor, the most commonly used borrow chord is the major 1 chord. This is called a Picardy third. It is often used at the end of a minor piece. This gives the ending of the piece a greater sense of finality. The term was introduced by Jean-Jacques Rousseau in his 1767 Dictionnaire des musiques, but the origin of the term Picardy third is unknown. The remainder of the most commonly borrowed chords occur in major. In order to change from a major mode to the parallel minor mode, we lower the 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees. The borrowed chords in major all result from these lowerings. For example, the 2 chord in major has a minor quality, but if we lower the 6th scale degree, like in the parallel minor mode, the quality of the 2 chord is now diminished. Let's look at another example. In major, the 3 chord has a minor quality, but if we lower the 3rd and the 7th scale degrees, like in the parallel minor mode, the quality of the 3 chord is now major. When providing a Roman numeral analysis, you need to not only show the chord quality, but also if the scale degree of the root has been raised or lowered. In the example we just looked at of the 3 chord, the 3rd scale degree was lowered, and then a major triad was built on the lowered 3rd scale degree. Indications for raised or lowered roots go to the left of the Roman numeral. We indicate the lowered 3rd scale degree with a flat sign to the left of the major 3 Roman numeral. When talking about borrowed chords, we are only concerned with lowered roots, but in a future module, you will learn that chromatic alterations can occur which raise the root of a chord. In these instances, we would place a sharp to the left of the Roman numeral. You will also learn that the flat major 3 chord and the flat major 6 chord are part of another category of chromaticism called chromatic mediance. Modal mixture is different from an actual change of mode, because modal mixture only occurs on a single chord. If a series of chords involve mixture and also lead to a cadence, then you should consider the possibility that the piece has modulated. Modal mixture is also different from an applied chord because the harmony will not proceed to the chord to which you assume it applies. You will have to pay careful attention to the chords before and after the use of any chromaticism in order to determine whether the chord you are currently analyzing is part of a modulation, an applied chord, or modal mixture. The use of modal mixture does not change the function of a chord. A 2 chord most often functions as a predominant harmony. Changing it to a borrowed, half-diminished 2 chord does not change that predominant function. Use of modal mixture also does not change the motion of a circle progression, even if the root of the chord has been altered. As we progress further into the concept of chromaticism, you will note that figured bass examples include more alterations. You will have to carefully determine chord members, macro analysis, and chord function based on the harmonies that precede and follow a chromatic harmony in order to determine its Roman numeral and function. Always look for musical clues in the chords that surround chromaticism that will lead you to determining the correct function of a given harmony.